Testing and Code Release, Chapter 14. In this chapter, we will look at game testing and releasing the code. First of all, it must be said, testing is not all fun and games. Spending 5 to 8 months testing the same game can be stressful, difficult, and at times tedious. But having said that, it's also a great foot in the door and can be a lot of fun. As a tester, you truly are part of the team. Testing is the last thing to happen in the production schedule. And if art, engineering, or design is delayed, testing will also have to be delayed. And testing time may be the first thing cut when extra time for production is needed. This, of course, may result in some features being cut because of not having adequate time or resources to fully test them. And of course, a lack of adequate testing may result in a game being buggy. A solid testing schedule will provide the team with a clear understanding of the schedule and expectations, how delays will negatively impact testing, as well as showing any testing dependencies. Regarding playtesting, we should schedule time for QA to test the game and offer feedback. And it should include people who haven't spent months playing the game. Fresh eyes will be more objective with the fun factor. A demo. Is there a demo of the game that will also need to be tested? Marketing builds. For journalists, these will provide publicity for the game and also need to be tested. And the code release candidate. After beta, the team's main goal is to fix bugs quickly to create a suitable code release candidate. QA follows a test plan, which must be thorough and needs to check all areas of the game. So, how about the testing pipeline? QA and the development team need to determine the pipeline for tracking and reporting bugs. By establishing a clear pipeline, much confusion will be eliminated. To efficiently track bugs, a centralized bug tracking database is critical. Bug tracking databases with robust bug tracking functionality for writing and closing bugs. A few of the bug tracking software I have used when I worked as a game developer were TestTrack and Bugzilla. Bug definitions. Let's take a look at some of them. A crash bug is extremely serious because it prevents the player from progressing. Crash bugs will freeze the game or kick the player out of the game. A critical bug represents a major functionality problem, but doesn't actually prevent the player from progressing. A level missing all of its textures would be an example of this. And a minor bug. A minor bug is noticeable to the player but doesn't detract greatly from the overall game experience. For example, a stretched texture or slight typo would be examples of minor bugs. And finally, a feature request. While not actually a bug, they are often tracked in bug tracking software. So what is the test cycle? Testers run through the test plan and they find the bugs. They then enter the bugs into the database. The bugs are then assigned to the appropriate team member who fixes the bug and resubmits for verification. Testers then check the fix and indicate whether or not the bug can be closed. Writing up bugs. It should be mentioned that bugs are logged not just by the QA team, but also by the development team. I, as an animator, could also find bugs and report them. There should be a standardized process for writing up bugs. Documented bugs should contain pertinent information so that the development team can easily figure out what and where the bug is. Then the development team can fix the bug. On top of the written description of a bug, it will also oftentimes include a screenshot or video. Then the development team can fix the bug. When writing up bugs, some important information will include the version of the build that was tested, the category, in other words, was it an art, design, or engineering bug, the subcategory. For example, AI would be a subcategory of engineering. A summary, or quick one-sentence description of the bug, as well as a lengthier description of the bug. The severity, was it a crash, critical, or minor bug? Its priority, this helps the team make important decisions about which bugs to address first. The steps to reproduce the bug, which will involve a step-by-step description. Any screenshots or video. And finally, the crash log files. A log file that notes which line of code the crash occurred in. Assigning and closing bugs. After the bug has been identified, it needs to go to the right person to be fixed. The tester finds the bug and writes it up and submits it. The bug then goes on to the QA analyst who checks to make sure it's not a duplicate. He or she will also ensure the bug is clearly written. The QA analyst then assigns the bug to the appropriate lead. For instance, the art lead will receive the art bugs. The lead reviews the bug, verifying that it is assigned to the right discipline. The lead will then assign the bug to the appropriate person on the team. The team member will fix the bug and then send it back to QA for verification. QA then verifies the bug, whether it's been fixed or not, and if not, the bug will be redirected back to the team to be fixed. It is not always possible to fix every bug. Sometimes fixing a minor bug can potentially break other aspects of the game, or introduce new bugs, maybe even jeopardize the ship date. Moving on to checking technical certification requirements. Each console manufacturer has a predefined set of technical certification requirements, or TCRs, that the game must adhere to. While a non-compliance bug doesn't crash the game or affect the way it plays, it is serious because if the game fails the approval process of the console manufacturer, its ship date will be delayed. For a variety of reasons, there may be a need to outsource testing to an external vendor. Some reasons include the developer having a small testing team, a need for a second pair of eyes, localized versions should be tested by native speakers. PC compatibility can be tested for a variety of computers, video cards, sound cards, etc. Determining code release. So how is the code release determined? Code release means that the content is final, bugs have been addressed, and a master disk is ready to be replicated and packaged. A CRC, or Code Release Candidate, is a version of the game that has addressed all bugs, has final assets, and is deemed ready to ship. The code release checklist should include copyright info, end-user license agreements, licensor approval, customer support information, localized assets, demos from other games, software ratings, and console submission requirements. Remember to build time in the schedule for the approval process by Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. Console packaging needs to be submitted for approval too. Once PC and console Gold Masters are approved and ready for manufacturing, they will be sent to a replication vendor. Postmortems. A postmortem is frequently conducted at the end of a game development cycle. Postmortems are useful because they provide closure and are a learning experience for the team as they move on to new projects. A postmortem is a reflective process where the team discusses what went right and wrong on a project with the intention of learning from the experience. Some of the questions we might ask ourselves are, did we achieve the goals of the game? Were the project's schedule, resources, feature set, and quality expectations realistic? What went right and what went wrong in the process? And what were the lessons learned? And that is testing and code release. Thank you for watching.